Hello and welcome back to FC26 Spin the Wheel edition, brought to you by me, Bevchenko. Today we have 3 games we need to play. Firstly, a Europa League tie against Porto at home, followed by a home game against Tottenham in the Premier League, and we will finish with an away tie down at Craven Cottage against Fulham, which will set us up nicely for 2 games in the next episode before the wheel kicks in once more and we are left to the chaos of the transfer window. So we've got some important news just come through from the club that our £113 million transfer kitty will not be carried over to next season. So we're going to have to spend some money this January. It's Europa League day. Nottingham Forest in 13th against FC Porto in 9th. Both clubs need to start getting wins in the Europa League. And Igor Jesus will lead the line this evening. Igor Jesus in fantastic form at the moment. Porto with the kickoff at the City Ground. Froholt lays it to Gabri Veiga. Forest needs to start fast. Froholt once more. Not much happening. Alberto, but CALLUM has stolen the ball. It's a 3-on-3 situation here. If Forest can get their passing right, it could be a dangerous opportunity. And they don't. CALLUM gives the ball away. I'm not sure what it was trying to achieve there. Dan and Doy chasing Borja Sainz, who lays it off to Moura. Porto starting quite well, as are Nottingham Forest. So both teams know they need to get a win today. Jacuna has been absolutely flawless since coming into this first team. Definitely one for the future, but also one for right now. Dan and Doy plays a nice little ball to Igor Jesus, who puts it to Gibbs White, who just can't find his way through that back line. Froholt. Kiwior. To Gabri Veiga with a nice little drag of the ball there to just get past Dan and Doy. Once again, Gabri Veiga. Porto knocking it around nicely, but in their back third, so can they push forward? No, they can't, because Dan and Doy intercepts. He's looking for a ball over the top to Igor Jesus, who manages to get hold of it. And the flag has gone up there. I'm not sure what it was for. I think it was a foul. Not sure it was offside. Could have been on ball, actually. Nottingham Forest fan base singing proudly, trying to drive their club onwards. Game's gone pretty quiet. And Samu is apparently having a campaign to remember for Porto, so we'll have to make sure he doesn't get the ball too often. And Veiga plays it to Samu. The big, tall striker. Looks built like a brick house. But Morgan Gibbs White gets the ball. Looks for Douglas Luiz and gives the ball away again. Morgan Gibbs White has not been in great form recently and could potentially lose his place, even as a captain. We may have to, especially if we're going to have to spend £113 million this January. We have a few cams in that shortlist, not to mention the hot prospects from Brazil, which will be looking. Samu's through here, not offside. Jacuna plays it to Douglas Luiz. Looks for Dan and Doy, finds him. Who also looks for Igor Jesus. Plays a nice little ball, giving the ball away to Dan and Doyle, moves out to Moura, who brings it down the line but loses the ball once more. Forest looking to make things happen, and they do. Elliot Anderson wins the ball. The final third, it's just not happening for Nottingham Forest. Alberto with his first touch of the game. Igor Jesus looking to close down Moura. Forest need to start getting some wins in the Europa League, especially if they're to win it, which Evangelos Marinakis has demanded that the manager does. CALLUM is giving the ball away far too cheaply once again today. That's 3 times he's giving the ball away on 3 dribbles. Moura in acres of space here. All Aina needs to get back. And he does. He comes in with a slide, wins the ball back. Excellent sliding tackle. Dan and Doy uses his pace. He's looking for a run. No one's making one. They're all just jockeying back. He's going to have to get across in here, which he does. Igor Jesus would have had a free header, but Claudio wins the ball in the air and plucks it out easily. Nice bit of play by Igor Jesus, but dispossessed on the edge of the box. Gomez lays it off to Gabri Veiga, who's having a good game. Samu How many touches of the ball, which is probably a good thing, really. I'll let Aina. Samu's for a go get a shot away here. Samu's in the box. Comes to Matsells. Great play by Jekunya to put off the big striker. Half time 0-0. We need something to happen this second half. Obviously, Nottingham Forest got a big league game against Tottenham Hotspurs next at the City Ground after this game, followed by a trip to Craven Cottage where they will be expected to pick up 3 points. But we all know things don't happen too easily in this game. Borja signs on the attack. Jekunya intercepts. Gets it to Morgan Gibbs-White, who passes to Elliot Anderson, who's been very quiet today. Callum Hudson-Odoi lays it off to Igor Jesus, who plays it out to Dan and Doyle. There could be half a chance here. Great save by Claudio, forces a corner. First corner of the game for either team. Douglas Luiz to put the ball in. Murillo's there, wins the header. Goes out for a throw-in. Not the greatest of headers. Especially if, yeah, it looks like it's a Porto ball. And they've just made a substitution. Throw halt has come off. Started well but faded. And Escaquao, I think, has come on the ball in the defensive midfield positions now. Unless it's a change of formation. Yeah, it is a change of formation. Not sure what they're playing at the moment. We can work it out. Gibbs-White wins the ball back. Nico Williams on his hunches. Plays through Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's looking for Igor Jesus. There's no one in the box again. Gets a pass in there, and Igor Jesus forces a fantastic save out of Claudio on point-blank range. That was a great opportunity out of nothing. Arguably could say they should have been 1-0 up. Gomez leaving Nico Williams for dead there. Brings it down. Ball gets played in. Here's half a chance. Samu lays it off to Varela at the edge of the box. Well, easily held by Matsells. Another half chance goes begging. Dan and Doy is looking to counter quickly. Can have some work to do. Not many shots in this game on target. Igor Jesus gets a little dummy in. Oh, he should have scored. He should have scored. The flag stayed down. Igor Jesus should have put Nottingham Forest 1-0 up. Backwards just come on for Dan and Doy. Quick corner coming in. Murillo looks for it. There's no one there. Morgan Gibbs-White picks up the ball. Lays it off to Nico Williams. Edge of the box. Elliot Anderson gets a shot in. Over the bar. Forest turning the screw now. 17 minutes almost played. Both teams ideally need to get a win, but neither would shy away from a point given the status of both clubs. Elliot Anderson wins the ball back on the halfway line. Dispossessed. But backward gets the ball back. Lays it off to Igor Jesus, who loses the ball. Probably should have squared it to Morgan Gibbs-White, if anything. And Porto are on a bit of an attack here. They've got the numbers. Gomez, and acres of space down the right. Nico Williams comes over, blocks the ball. Fantastic by the Welsh international. Callum Hudson-Odoi puts on the burners. Lasting 80 minutes so far. Morgan Gibbs-White looking for space. Doesn't find it. Loses the ball. Elliot Anderson wins it back as usual. Callum Hudson-Odoi gets the ball to Igor Jesus. Plays it to Douglas Luiz. He's got a bit of space. Loses it. They cannot get any shots away. The Porto defence has been resolute today. Not to mention that save from Claudio. But here's half a chance. Callum Hudson-Odoi on his right foot. It's saved and it's in. There was too much power on the ball. And Callum Hudson-Odoi has put Nottingham Forest 1-0 ahead in this vital tie against Porto in the Europa League. The fans are going wild. Porto players lying on the floor. Gabby Veiga coming off. Porto are going for it. Escaquao moving into a more attacking midfield position now. Pepe. Forest sitting back. They need to make sure they don't sit too deep. And Pepe's going to get through here. No, great clearance by Jekunya. Gibbs-White lays it off to Bakwa, who should have plenty of pace still in him. Lovely. Oh, looks like a lovely through ball to Igor Jesus then. I thought he was going to get it away. Mora pulls Jekunya out. Ball comes through. Matsells picks it up with ease. And that is the end of the game. That is a massive win for Nottingham Forest in the Europa League. Massive win for the club. And that win moves Nottingham Forest up to 6 in the Europa League. Still chasing Feyenoord and Aston Villa, but 6 is a great position so far. Now back to the Premier League. Nottingham Forest in 4th against Tottenham Hotspurs in 5th. This is a really big battle if Nottingham Forest want to secure Champions League qualification. Remember, they only need to get Europa League qualification according to Evangelos Marinakis. Nottingham Forest keeping the same lineup that's got that vital 1-0 win against Porto. Can they get another win at home this week? Udogie to Sarr. Kulusevski to Memphis Depay, who's signed for the club. Offside. Oh no, it's a foul. Not sure what happened there. Oh, no, it was offside. Jacquin to Ola Aina. Lays it off to Dan N'Doye. Looking to make things happen. Squares it to Douglas Luiz. Elliot Anderson. Tottenham closing down quickly and on the break as Elliot Anderson loses the ball. Sarr gets through 1, gets through 2. Plays it to Carrasco, who's offside fortunately. Half chance there for Tottenham, who could have really been away if kept his line. Dan N'Doye plays it to Igor Jesus, who's been an absolute revelation since coming into this starting lineup. He's really brought the rest of the team together. Oh, Dan N'Doye puts a great ball across the 12-yard area. But it comes to nothing. Morgan Gibbs White is trying to make something happen here. There's no support. He's got it now, though. Dan N'Doye slips Morgan Gibbs White back through. And there's a chip. Great save by Costa. Very important save. Arguably stopped it from being 1-0. Murillo. Ball comes to Noe. Kudus is getting the ball away there. Jacquin is tracking him. And the centre-back wins it back. Fantastic play by Jacquin. However, Forest have lost the ball now. Memphis is away. Jacquin once again intercepting the ball. Gets all Aina, who plays it down the line to Dan N'Doye. He thinks about doing an overlapping run. It doesn't come to anything. He wants it now, though. Surely handball, referee. Referee's giving play on here. Carrasco's away. Murillo comes in with a big sliding tackle. Murillo to Ola Aina. To Morgan Gibbs White. Lays it across to Elliot Anderson. Plays it down the line to Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's looking for some support. There's no runners. He's going to have to do it himself. Does he take on Jed Spence, who's highly rated by Nottingham Forest hierarchy? Forest could do with some extra support in those positions and will no doubt look to make a move for Jed Spence this January. But will Spurs be willing to sell? Udogie. To Carrasco. Carrasco's been fantastic today. Sarr plays it through to Memphis. Hold up play looking good. Beats Douglas Luiz. Bentancur, I've not seen him on the ball all day, and that's probably why he's giving it away. Igor Jesus to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Gets on his burners. Cuts inside to Nico Williams. Nico Williams got a bit of space here as the young Welshman. He's on the wrong foot though. Has a shot. It's gone out for a corner. I thought it was going wide. Douglas Luiz to Murillo. Powerful header comes to nothing. Too much on that from Murillo. Memphis Depay. Plays it to Carrasco. To Memphis once more. Kulusevski to Bentancur. Lays it across to Udogie. Brings it down the line. Opportunity here. Saz got past 3 players there. Absolute calamity by the Nottingham Forest back line. But they make up for it. And Ola Aina is on the counter-attack here. He's got acres of space. He's waiting for Dan N'Doye to make a run. It's not coming. He's going to have to make it now, though. Oh, and unfortunately, as Ola Aina goes to make the pass, it's intercepted by Udogie. Romero lays it back to the keeper. It's far off his line here. Forest can win the ball back. Could probably have a shot. Memphis pinks the ball over the top. Ola Aina clears. Bentancur picks it up once more. Kulusevski looks to the edge of the box. Memphis has got the ball. Has a shot from distance. Well wide by the striker. Matsels plays it out to Ola Aina. Dan N'Doye looks crossfield ball here. Absolute perfect crossfield ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi. And once again, Jed Spence has got Callum Hudson-Odoi in his back pocket. Kulusevski plays it back to Sarr. Sarr trying to pull some strings, as is Memphis Depay. Elliot Anderson with a sliding tackle. Doesn't get the ball. Romero to Memphis once more. Memphis dropping deep. Lovely play here in trios by Spurs. Jed Spence to Kulusevski. Forest need to get hold of the ball here. And it's opening up for Sarr once more. Forest has got to be so careful in that defensive midfield area. Ola Aina trying to win the ball, and it's half time. Even game, not many chances. I'd probably say Spurs are shading it so far. Danso, Jed Spence. Be interested to see how... Oh, Kudos has got the better of Nico Williams. He finds himself in acres of space here down the line. Well blocked by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Kudos, though, uses his strength, wins the ball back. Elliot Anderson's looking to try and get possession. He doesn't, but Forest are forcing the ball back. And here's half chance for Memphis. Big save by Matt Sells. They've given the ball away here. Forest are all over the places. And again, Forest giving the ball away so needlessly. Kudos flicks it over the top of Nico Williams. But can he get the better of Murillo? Murillo doesn't allow that to happen and boots the ball clear. Forest still under pressure as Jed Spence picks the ball up. And they play it all the way back. Bentancur to Sarr. Forest looking a bit leggy after their Europa League exploits against Porto in midweek. Igor Jesus wins the ball back and now there's no one up top for Forest. We're going to have to get a move on. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Morgan Gibbs White's come across, but there's no support for Callum Hudson-Odoi. They can't blame him for trying to take the winger on. Ball over the top to Kudos, who dispossesses Callum Hudson-Odoi to win it with his show of strength once more. Callum Hudson-Odoi now wins it. Gives it to Nico Williams. He gives it to Elliot Anderson. To Gibbs White. Douglas Luiz charging up the field. Kulusevski knocks him off the ball. Forest are being outfought and outfought in this game. Knocking the ball around well as Tottenham. All game they've knocked the ball away. Carrasco been quiet this half. Was instrumental in that first half. Forest got to be very careful here. Douglas Luiz gets a sliding ball back to Gibbs White. There's half chance here for Forest if they can play a great ball to Igor Jesus, which they do. Does he have the pace though? No, Romero keeps with him and gets a toe in on the end to knock it back to the keeper. Carrasco picks the ball up nicely. Ola Aina wins it back. Who plays it to Dan and Doy. Forest trying to make things happen now. The game's getting a bit stretched. And as we see, Forest continue to give this ball away. Kudos forces Jekunya out of position. Sarr. Back to Bentancur. And they play it all the way back to Danso. Carrasco on the edge of the box. To Memphis, who gets a shot away. Douglas Luiz blocks it. Forest looking to make things happen once more. Dan and Doy on a run. He gets the ball. Ola Aina stopped in his tracks. Cuts inside to Igor Jesus. Is miles offside here. Miles offside. And Omari Hutchinson's going to come on for Dan and Doy. Tottenham also making a change. Depay's gone off. And Muani has come on in his place. James Maddison with the ball there. Didn't even know he was playing today. Kulusevski down the line. Plays it to Kudos. Had a pretty solid game so far, Mohamed Kudos. Udogie to James Maddison. Loses the ball to Jekunya. Omari Hutchinson. Fresh on. Does he have the pace? Udogie, despite playing 86 minutes, is still full of energy. Kulusevski dinks the ball over the top. Could be the last chance here. Carrasco forcing Jekunya to drop. And there's not half a chance here. And it's 1-0. Absolutely shambolic defending by Nottingham Forest. And James Maddison gets his third goal of the season. Celebrating like they've won the cup. And they're definitely going to get the 3 points today by the looks of it. Forest are going to have to go all out attacking here. It's the only way. They've got only a couple of minutes left. They've got 1 minute. It's not going to be enough. Forest have lost this and it's their own fault. Gibbs White loses the ball. Kudos on the break. And that's the game. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur as Nottingham Forest lose their third home game of the season after defeats to Chelsea and to Liverpool. They're not beating those top 4 teams, that's for certain. Nottingham Forest now travel to Craven Cottage where they play Fulham, who are in 14th position. They need to get a win to get the Premier League season back on track after their defeat to Tottenham last time out. Smith Rowe lays it off to Berger. Lukic. Smith Rowe once again. No doubt is going to be instrumental in this game. Craven Cottage packed to the rafters as usual. Lukic lays it back to Bassi. Brings it forward to the edge of the box. Forest trying to win the ball back with some pace, but Bassi is pushing a bit forward here. And Smith Rowe picks up on the edge of the box, and there's no one. They're just standing there, the Nottingham Forest defenders. What is going on with this defence at the moment? Elliot Anderson wins the ball back. Gibbs White plays it to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who knocks it to Igor Jesus. He's looking for some support. He doesn't get it. Loses the ball. Lukic to Mauro Jr. He's danced through them once more. Murillo's going to have to step up here. It's not good because he gets past to Rodrigo Muniz, who takes a shot from distance. Arguably should have brought it a lot closer. Matt Sells lays it out to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Forest are just not making the runs. And they've lost the ball. Sanderberg wins it with Jekuna with a big sliding tackle. Forest trying to make things happen now. Forest drive forward. Lose the ball once more. Sanderberg. Fulham are all over him. Ola Aina to Dan and Doy. Will they get success down this side of the pitch? No, they won't. Mauro Jr. Ridiculous slide tackles coming in now by Forest. They definitely have a European hangover. And the ball's going out for a throw. Alex Iwobi takes the throw. Lays it off to Smith Rowe. Olaina picks it up. It's dispossessed by Smith Rowe. Shot comes in. Corner kick. Matt Sells put it out. Short ball. Murillo comes out for it. He's left the space open there. Clearance. Olaina on the edge of the box. So Morgan Gibbs White, who gives it to Igor Jesus, who loses it. But Morgan Gibbs White's got the ball now. And once again, dispossessed. Forest cannot do anything at the moment in this game. They're really struggling. They struggled against Tottenham as well. They played so well against Porto, and it's just turned into this. Can't win all the games, though, unfortunately. We've got to make sure you be beating teams like Fulham. We need some chances. We need to make things happen. And they're just giving the ball away. They're getting closed down so quickly by Fulham. There's nothing they can do, so they're playing hit and hope passes, and it's coming to nothing. Castagni to Sanderberg, to Smith Rowe, to Lukic. Muniz. Rodrigo Muniz on the edge of the box takes another shot from distance. Easily dealt with and out for a goal kick. Ola Aina looking to make things happen. Knocks it a bit too far, but Dan and Doy does pick up the ball. Dan and Doy with a nice run, but 1-2 with Igor Jesus there. There's no one in the box. Can they get the cross in, though? Goes out for a corner. First corner of the game for Nottingham Forest. Can they make something happen? Douglas Luiz puts it in. Murillo knocks it across the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared to the edge of the box once more. Great hold-up play by Muniz, who somehow still has the ball, but Murillo wins it back. Morgan Gibbs White taking on 3-4 players on his own there. Picks up the ball, looking for support. It's not got it. Callum Hudson-Odoi puts it into Nico Williams. Puts a little ball over the top to Morgan Gibbs White, who's offside. Header was easily saved by Leno in the Fulham goal. Sanderberg dictating the game today by the looks of it. Nico Williams, though, has lost the ball. Just about to praise Nico Williams. Forest win it back. Murillo. Jacuna. To Dan and Doy. He needs some support. Ola Aina provides it. Beats Alex Iwobi for pace. Fellow Nigerian. Ola Aina's coming in here. There's no one there. And it's a goal kick. He's just smashed it wide. Igor Jesus tiring a little bit, but he's going to stay on for now. So all to play for the second half as it kicks off. Fulham 0, Nottingham Forest 0 in West London. An important game for both teams. Iwobi dispossesses. I don't even know who was dispossessing there because I can't look. It was Ola Aina. Ola Aina. Big battle between the two Nigerians. It's a good game to watch so far down that side of the pitch anyway. Douglas Luiz comes with the ball. Looks for Callum Hudson-Odoi and he finds him. Callum Hudson-Odoi needs to make something happen. He's got no support. Forest are just not getting the support up with him. Elliot Anderson. Morgan Gibbs White lays it off to Igor Jesus, who gives it back to Morgan Gibbs White, who goes to shoot, and Anderson gets a toe in to stop the shot from going on target. You'd think Morgan Gibbs White would have put Leno into action. Elliot Anderson picks the ball up. Douglas Luiz to Dan and Doy. Can they make something happen now? No, they can't. Great play by Fulham down the wing there. Was won the ball back. Ola Aina wins it. Nutmegs Alex Iwobi gives it to Dan and Doy. Ball comes through. Big pass across to CALLUM Hudson-Odoi, who's got a couple of defenders chasing him now. But he puts the ball through. I think Igor Jesus is onside. The referee, linesman says no. Taiwo Iniwi comes on for Igor Jesus for the last 30 minutes. Another player who's not had much time. Can he have the same impact that Igor Jesus had when he first broke back into the team? Not on that display, he won't, as he gives the ball away very, very cheaply. Alex Iwobi picks the ball up, gives it to Muniz, who has a shot from distance. Matt Sells easily collects. Lays the ball out to Dan and Doy. Nottingham Forest desperately needing to get some. There's just numbers aren't there. Fulham are just getting back so quickly, and they're just making it an absolute resolute defence that can't be broken down. If you want to beat Nottingham Forest, this is how you do it. Well, if you want to stop them winning, that's for certain. Frustrations by Forest there, just blasting the ball out. Mauro Jr. passes out to Iwobi. They've played well down this side, those two. Lukic has had a good game as well. Honorat to Mauro Jr. Got to be careful here, Forest. Can't afford to lose a second league game. Matt Sells collects it, launches it to CALLUM Hudson-Odoi. He's going to take it forward. No, he gives it to Taiwo, who lays it off to Dan and Doy. Dan and Doy has got the pace and the skill and the trickery to do that. Puts the ball through here to Morgan Gibbs-White. Half a chance. He shoots and he scores. The power goes through. It's going to be another 1-0 win. The Craven Cottage goes silent as Morgan Gibbs-White celebrates in front of the tourists. Unbelievable. Great finish by Morgan Gibbs-White. 1-0 Nottingham Forest, 12 to go. Honorat picks the ball up in the middle. Knocks it to Sanderberg, who tries a shot from distance. Gets blocked by CALLUM Hudson-Odoi. And Raul Jimenez from distance again. Fulham really need to start taking shots from closer. I don't think they're going to beat Matt Sells from this distance. They're not really creating anything though. And now they need to, given that Forest have taken the lead. Honorat loses it to Jacunha, who gives it to Dan and Doy, who passes it to Morgan Gibbs-White, but Mauro Jr. with a great sliding interception there. Dan and Doy forces Alex Iwobi to lose the ball. CALLUM Hudson-Odoi picks it up. Elliot Anderson to Morgan Gibbs-White, the goal scorer, the captain. Douglas Luiz. Ball out to Dan and Doy. Forest bringing it forward now. Fulham defence back as we expect. Loses ball. Mauro Jr. has been fantastic today. He looks absolutely exhausted though, as Morgan Gibbs-White comes across to try and win the ball back, and he does. Lays it off to Douglas Luiz, who gets quickly covered, and that is the end of the game. Fulham at 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Another victory for Nottingham Forest. And that leaves Nottingham Forest currently sitting in 4th in the final Champions League place, despite losing to Spurs, who are, well, they're on 32 points as well. But the goal difference is far superior for Nottingham Forest, with only their 6 goals conceded this season. Some 2 big games coming up tomorrow, followed by transfer window. So don't miss either of those episodes. If you've enjoyed today's content, please subscribe and leave a comment below. I'd love to get your thoughts on today's episode. Until next time, cheers.